Hi, I'm Dave for Cyderbaby. This is Rock Radio UK, and today I am speaking to Simone from DGM. Hello.
Hey, thanks for having me.
That's okay. You have just produced, I think today actually, a very stunning new album with DGM. Um, Life. Tell me about it.
Well, thanks. Yeah, I mean, this is the combination of probably the last 3 years, and the majority of the album was written during lockdown.
Okay.
In Italy it was pretty bad, so we were pretty much stuck at home for like 2 years in a row,
Yeah.
except a few months in the summer. And yeah, the only thing I could do was like mixing. That's my day job. I run a studio where I record and mix a lot of stuff, and in the evening I was just writing new tunes. Actually, the fun thing is that I basically wrote two albums, and my
Okay.
idea initially was to put out like a double,
Yeah.
because the first one was a little heavier, so it's live, and the second one, which probably will come out next year, it's a little bit more mellow, like more prog rockish, like old
Yeah.
school kind, mellotrons, no double bass and all the stuff. Because we're trying to experiment with some different styles rather than repeating the same album over and over. And
Yeah.
yeah, again, the idea initially was to put out the album as a double,
Mm.
but like a label suggested that maybe it was too much stuff because it was like 1 hour plus one
Yeah.
album and 1 hour plus the other one. So nowadays people just want to listen to one single and then, well, it's done. So maybe it's a better idea to just put out two different albums so people can digest the first one properly and then
Yeah.
move out to the next.
Okay. Uh, so tell me, I mean, it seems a little bit more, I suppose the word's intense than your previous work. But intense is not the right word either. It's you've altered the sound a little bit. You've played with the sound, made it brilliant. I love it. I mean, my station is well known for having a lot of progressive rock and progressive metal on through
Okay.
24/7. I mean, Fridays is something like just progressive rock the whole day. And this album itself is just superb. I mean, I'll just be playing it in its entirety, just 3 or 4 times a day. Oh,
Oh,
that's how
thanks.
that's how much I think of it. It's great, but you seem to have hit that sweet spot between technical or technicality and mixing and mastering. You seem to have got it, without the musicianship is not overshadowed by the mixing and the
I,
mastering.
I I got exactly what you, and I think that's the best analysis of the album, because I found myself changing towards the ears. Not, I mean, all my background is always the same. I grew up with like both heavy stuff, and both progressive, like Kansas, Rush, all the classic, of course. But I find myself over and over getting tired of just noodling on my guitar, showing off to people like I can do this solo faster than everyone. I mean, I was like that like 15 years ago,
Yeah.
because probably everybody in its like 20s or 30s is more about, okay, I gotta improve the technique. And nowadays I really don't care at all. I just care, the time where I spend the most is when I write a song, is to find the perfect melody and a riff that it really, a riff or a chord progression that is pleasing me, rather
Mm.
than, okay, I gotta do like this dual solo with keyboards that is super technical and flashy. Of course we still have that, because it's in our DNA. So it's,
Yeah.
but it's, rather than replicate the same formula like in 10 songs, we just try to, okay, let's do a song that is instrumental and maybe a little more melodic, and then let's do another one where we have the fast stuff, and then trying different little things. And again, for the second album that we wrote, that is still, I mean, I don't want to promote that because it's not out yet, but we're going even more towards that direction, so we have a lot of more like acoustic stuff,
Mm.
and like more prog in the old school, like I don't know, like ranging from King Crimson to Spock's Bird to, you know, Neil Morse and all that. And I think this album, Live, is the perfect bridge between the old albums and the new path that we probably want to pursue in the future.
Okay. For you, I mean, nothing's short on this album, is it? Nothing's been cut short.
Right.
I love it. I mean, 6-7 minute songs, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. For you, if you were to pick 2 or maybe 3 songs that stand out for you on this particular album, which 2 or 3 would you pick?
I will say the first 3, basically.
Okay.
But you know, pretty much because they span through all the styles of the band. You know, you have the fast one, and that's more like the past, you know, like fast songs with double bass and stuff like that. And then I love the first one, or rather the Sorrow, but mainly, and as you pointed out, it's like 7+ minute song, and everybody, even in the label, told me that it's impossible to be a single, because you know the algorithm today on YouTube, the chorus has to start in 1 minute, and I told them I don't care. I mean, I really am not chasing that thing, you know. Otherwise, I wouldn't do progressive metal. I will do probably pop music if I was chasing the success of pop music. So why should I cut the song? I mean, I have 1 minute intro of keyboards. I don't care. I love it. So why? I mean, I want the listeners. I want that people who listen to DGM step away from the standards and cliches of like, okay, the song has to be 3 minutes and 30 and no solo or whatever. If I want to do a 2 minute solo, I'm free to do that. You know, I'm not trying to pleasing or selling million records here, and just to please my ego, trying to put out songs that I like. That's it. You know, that's the only thing that motivates us.
Okay.
And yeah, so that's why the first 3 songs are probably, but I could change my mind in 1 week. You know, it's always like that. So
I've got to say, Dominate's probably my favorite on first few hearings.
Okay.
And Neuromancer as well.
I love the last one, Neuromancer too. Yeah, Dominate, maybe it's too straightforward to my taste now. You know, again, if I'm in the mood of something more like straight, like heavy, then I might say Dominate. So it's always changing.
Yeah. Okay. So what are the plans for DGM now, going forward? Are you intending to tour?
Yeah, we have some selected show like in the next year, because we're not playing together as a band since more than 2 years.
Right.
Because we all live far from each other, so it's not easy for us to just rehearse and stuff like that. So we plan to do some rehearsals for 1 or 2 months in November and December, and then next year we also shows. But again, my main focus is actually to put out the new record. You know, the other one, because we recorded and mixed the 2 albums at the same time. You know, so I really want people to hear the second one too, and then maybe do, you know, like a tour where we can play the 2 albums together or something like that. You know, because to me they are connected in some way, since I wrote them at the same time.
Okay. Actually, so when are you sort of planning? What sort of timescale do you think that would happen? Releasing the next album?
I don't know. It's up to the label, so I really don't know. I hope before the summer, but I don't know if it's too early. You know, because the album is pretty much done, and I probably will deliver it in a month. So it's up to them. You know, nowadays it's always, you know, with all the vinyl pressing thing, sometimes you have to wait like 8 months for just them to be ready or stuff like that. So it's hard to tell.
Yes. Merchandise is the only real source of income for bands these days over streaming, I believe. So
yeah.
The way the times have changed, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to keep you too much longer. Thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate you talking to me. And people can get Life now out on the Frontiers label. And DGM, Simone, I wish you all the very best. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.